I'm going to America.
All right, let's back it up. This isn't where the story starts. It starts here. This was me. No, stop. We'll go back just a bit further. I was born in Melbourne, Australia on October 30th, 1995. Mum often tells me how painful I was to deliver because my head was so big. As I grew up, I was always drawing or painting or learning instruments. I had big aspirations of becoming something unrealistic, like a rock star or an astronaut or attractive, and then I grew up. Suddenly I graduated university with a film degree, and all of my short films and YouTube videos had somehow failed to earn me enough money to buy a pack of gum, let alone to kick off a career. I got a job at Kmart, then at a bar, then in an office. And with each new job I was increasing my salary and drifting away from my creative aspirations at the same time. And I started to realise that the more money I'd make, the more I'd waste.
Working jobs we hate, so we can buy shit we don't need.
I was spending every day counting down the minutes to the weekend so I could spend my paycheck on food and beer. So I had to take a good long look at myself in the mirror, and that's what this shot's for. It's a metaphor. And realise that I was working in a job I didn't love because I was making a decent paycheck, but I was wasting that money every weekend just trying to fit a week's worth of joy into 2 days. And don't get me wrong, I've got complete respect for people that have to work in jobs in order to survive, but I didn't have as good of a reason. I think the reason I stayed at my job was just because I was too scared to try anything else. It was like when you're watching a TV show you've already seen 1,000 times. You're not really paying attention, but you can turn your brain off and it just feels comfortable. I didn't know what I was aiming for 2 to 5 years in the future. I felt like I was wasting my 20s, the time in your life when you can take the most risks. I had the freedom to do anything, and the fact that I was doing nothing was driving me crazy. But I was working with great people, and there was good job security, and there was a little voice in the back of my head that just kept saying, hey man, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Now, when you're about to make one of the biggest decisions of your life, it's important to remember something this guy says.
If you want to be successful at anything in life, never leave the sight of setting a goal without doing something that commits you to fulfillment.
That's when you have to commit, that first moment that you decide to do something reckless and crazy. If you don't take immediate action to commit yourself to it, you'll just keep putting it off until you can slowly talk some sense into yourself, and who wants that? People kept asking me if I was nervous about moving, but really I was just trying not to overthink it. But once I was up in the air and there was no going back, it began to dawn on me that I was moving to a city and to a country that I'd never been before, and I had no idea what to expect. Right, so that was a very pretty sequence, but I feel like I need to stress that, the answer to my lack of direction wasn't to come out to LA and just party it up. Honestly, I've not spent that much time away from my computer. I've lived in my hometown my whole life, and I guess the goal of this was to just throw myself in the deep end and move to a city that I've never been to before and I've always dreamed of going to, and move away from everything I've ever known to try and gain a new perspective. And in a weird way, I think what's made me happiest about moving out here isn't necessarily the amazing weather and all the fun stuff there is to do. I think when you move away from everything you know, you're forced to become aware of what's really important to you. And for me, that's the constant support of my amazing family and my incredible group of friends who are there for me no matter how far away I am. So I think what I'm trying to say is that you don't necessarily need to move to the other side of the world to find happiness. Sometimes all you really need is a change of perspective.